I believe that music might be the final frontier of freedom of thought and expression. The first song we did earlier today, Fall Away, I wrote New Year's morning, 2024. You know how it is, New Year's Day, you wake up and it's a double-edged sword, you know, like you're reflecting on the previous year and you're like, all right, we made it another year. And then you kind of take a moment and you go, oh, now we gotta do it all again, right? And so at that moment, New Year's, morning around 11 o'clock, it was just like, oh, and I got really anxious for no reason. I was in my sweats, I just made some coffee, like what? I was like, let it fall away. I thought, oh, that's a good idea. And in my apartment in Brooklyn, my acoustic guitar is never more than this far away from me. Because when you have the idea, you have to capture it. And there's no excuse, because you can lose it like that. And so I wrote the song. It took about 20 minutes to write it. As I was putting it together, it really felt like, I don't do New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe in that. But this felt like that. I am a songwriter first, composer, if you will. That's how I see myself. Songs make the world go round. I think it's a whole nother thing. I could go off for another hour about the importance of song in humanity. From the first song, which is just drums, right? To like indigenous folk music, hymns in churches. I mean, it's songs, man, songs. I don't write songs. The songs exist in the air. I am on my most blessed moments available to be used as a vessel to receive the songs, to be entrusted with this important information and turn it into something that can be shared with human beings. It's not even art at that phase. It becomes art after that, but it's just, I don't write them. It sounds very hocus pocusy, pie in the sky, for real. I don't write them. They come through me. I hope this, resonates with folks, because really, when you start writing a lot of songs, when you start being involved in the creation of music as a lifestyle choice, you start to realize, well, how much of it was really where did it come from? Where did it come from? Goes into a whole nother discussion about, mankind and why do we need to know why? We always need to know why everything. Well, why did that happen? Why? Sometimes things just happen, man. And they're beautiful. And we should be grateful. We have a show, multidisciplinary, interactive concert performance show. It's called Endangered. And Endangered is created by myself, Floyd Tunson, and my esteemed songwriting partner, the legendary Mr. Yusef Komunyakaa. So we put together this project, Endangered. It speaks to the fact that Black people in America are under attack, under siege. We all know this, but it's just been brought to the forefront. It's like an endangered species. It's like the great white whale. There's not gonna be too many of us left if we don't do something. I'm not really joking about that when I say that. So you asked me locations. So the project was commissioned and funded by the museum at Colorado College in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And it was led by their new director, Mr. Michael Cristiano, wonderful, forward-thinking individual. They paid for us to put this show together. And we created this whole environment within their gallery. And it was, we put the show on there on the very first official Juneteenth celebration in America. And it fell over the course of a weekend. We premiered the show that weekend in Colorado Springs. So you're going, well, what's the big deal? What's so interesting about that location? Colorado Springs is a divided area. Literally, there is a street that runs down the middle of it. On one side, you have basically progressive, liberal, hippie type people. On the other side, you have the financial power base of the Ku Klux Klan. We were able to premiere this work right on the Ku Klux Klan's doorstep. Oh wow, we're actually gonna play this music in those people's faces. I'm still very proud, of that moment in that location. There are no problems for me with music. I don't try to write unless I'm inspired to write, which means that at that point, I am being called upon to be the vessel. People talk about writer's block. Oh my God, I'm suffering with writer's block. I'm like, I don't have writer's block, man. To the contrary, I love writing on task. Like, I've composed music for film. I've written a couple of musicals as well, and you have deadlines. You've got to have the first act done by this day, and it's got to be, I love it. Yeah, great. Put it this way, so far, I don't have any problems creating music, I'm gonna paraphrase the great Frank Zappa. There is more to this quote. Feel free to look it up. Just a few lines, but essentially the quote ends with, "Music is the best." And so now I'm going to take it and put it here because we live in such, I choose to say interesting times, people. You know what I'm talking about. Stuff is real interesting in the world right now. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, so I choose to say interesting, but y'all know what I'm talking about. I believe that music might be the final frontier of freedom of thought and expression. There's certain powers in the world that are slowly taking away our civil liberties to express ourselves. But you can stick it in a song and somebody can hear it, and you can actually, it's like black codes from the underground. Like we can send messages to each other through rhythm, through melody, through the spirit of something. Yeah, I love music, obviously, but I think there's a lot more to it than that. And I think that the collective we, humanity, would be wise to start respecting music, because I believe that music it's been devalued and it's been disrespected. The late, great David Bowie said it this way: "I can't believe I live in a time when I have to pay for water and music is free."